Great day, attractive thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your Break the Cycle specialist at the Attractive Thinker Guru. It is a new Monday. Welcome to a new Monday. It is not another Monday. It is a new Monday. I want to celebrate you, congratulate you. You know, I want to enjoy life with you. We actually woke up today together, and you never know what's in store for us. You get to declare your day. You get to dictate how you want this day to flow. And I just want to, let you know that we're here for you at Beyond the Break. My co-host, Tichet. Welcome, Tichet. It's good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, I am so delighted to be here with you and share space and time with Tichet. We have something really incredible to share with you today, something you may not have ever considered. Beyond the Break is all about living your life beyond a break, beyond a heartbreak, beyond disappointment, beyond success. See, success is a break in between where you used to be and where you are now. There's a break there. So what is life like beyond that break, beyond that gap, beyond where you used to be? Anytime you pursue anything new, you got to break away from some things. You're going to have to break away from some environments, break away from some habits, break away from some relationships, break away from some old thoughts. Think about that. So life beyond the break, we have to consider this new life that we're living. And we just come before you to share some tips, tools, strategies, some insight. We go really deep. We want to share some insight with you and some wisdom and some gems that we've discovered along the way on our own journey to success, our own journey to accomplishing our goals. Again, Dr. Toni Hatton here, your Break the Cycle specialist at the Attractive Thinker Guru. Welcome to Tichet Bradshaw to another episode of Beyond the Break.
I am so delighted to be able to do this. It's such a blessing to just be granted another day. I don't take for granted any day that we're given anymore. I try to utilize as much time as possible and be strategic about my time. And it's such a blessing to be able to sit here and pour out, the things that we're learning, the things that we've been through, the things that we've been through, and also, exposure, because exposure has to happen in order for us to heal. So I'm thankful to be a part of Beyond the Break. Again, you can find me at visualencouragement.com. And I'm glad that you guys are with us today. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is going to be fantastic and amazing. Today, we're going to be talking about the benefits of being broken. Now, see, there's a twist to that. You know how we do, attractive thinkers. We have vision and we see beyond. We use our ability to see beyond what we're looking at. And today, Tichet and I are going to be breaking it open. We're going to dive deep. We're going to share some gems along the way and show you the benefits of being broken, because broken has like this negative connotation attached to it. And when we say something is broken, you're not inspired by that. That's not going to, make you motivate you to go over there and see this broken thing. Like, oh my God, like, let me see this broken thing. We're not motivated to go and tend to anything that's broken. When you hear something is broken, you feel that energy attached to broken things. You're not encouraged. It's some more work you have to do, or something you have to fix, or something that's going to delay you or set you back. When you hear something that's broken, even when it comes down to us as men and women, when you hear somebody say, oh, they're broken, or you say yourself, oh, I'm broken, or somebody says they're broke in that area of their lives. Now, to be honest with you, we all are broken in some area of our lives. None of us are perfect. None of us are whole in every area of our lives, whereas we don't need to do any more internal work. So we're going to always be evolving and growing and doing our work. But there are areas of our lives where we look at them. Now, some of the areas of our lives, we're in denial about it. We don't want to look at them, especially if we feel like we're broken in that area. There are areas of our lives where we might get discouraged to go in that direction because we feel like there's too much work, or we feel like we're incapable of doing the work, or we feel like it just can't be fixed. Would you agree, Tichet? There's some areas in our lives that we will, struggle with seeing as whole, or feeling like they can be healed or fixed.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree. You said that we'll be in denial about our situation. And I think a lot of that comes from being ashamed,
Mm,
feeling less than perfect, like perfect is what we were supposed to be. Like perfect is the standard, where perfection is really, what you call it, it is unrealistic. You
mm,
know, um,
mm,
we are required to be us and uniquely be us, but perfect, I don't think we were ever supposed to be perfect. I think the only thing that's perfect in our lives is God.
mm.
There's no perfect situation, a perfect life, a perfect person. If you are out there and you're perfect, contact me. I would like to ask you some questions to see how you got to be so perfect. But when we are in denial, because we feel ashamed. Any little doubt, any little faults, any little shortcomings, we
Mhm,
judge ourselves so harshly and
mm,
causes us to feel ashamed that we tend to hide what we're going through. So we make it seem like everything that's glitter is gold, and it's not. And so when we do that and we hide everything, we don't get to the root of everything because we're not exposing it. In
mm,
order to start to heal the wound, you have to expose it, clean it out, and then proceed to do the work necessary for it to take place. But as long as you keep acting like it's not there, as long as you're not recognizing, you're not identifying it, you're
mm,
going to keep, number one, doing the same thing over and over again that caused you to be broken in the first place. And then number two, you're going to allow that wound to sting
mm,
longer than it has to, until it become infectious to your brain, until it become infectious to your life, and unfortunately, it will become infectious to your results. And so we have to get out of denial
mhm,
and allow ourselves to be exposed. I mean, who gets to judge us? Who
mhm,
gets to make us feel ashamed? Who in here is perfect
mhm,
that they get to judge us and make us feel ashamed for shortcomings? If you in your heart know that you're doing the best that you can, and you know that you are willing to grow and you're willing to learn, we are all evolving.
mhm,
So we have to identify everything. You always talk about self-assessing. When we self-assess, we don't assess just to keep it hidden and
mhm.
push it under the bed. See, I'm one of them organized people. I like to clean under stuff. I like under the couch, under the refrigerator, under the stove. No, nobody will never see it. I know it's there. And
Yes,
I'm like that with
yes.
me. Nobody will
Yes.
ever see some of the stuff, but I know it's there. I need to make sure that my heart is clean and as pure as I possibly can get. Can it be perfect? No, because I got a lot of faults.
Mhm,
So I just needed to understand that I know I can't deny what I've been through. But like you said, there's so much benefits to being broken. It shapes you and molds you into this awesomeness human being, this person of strength and fire, this person of that is of great courage, and humility.
mhm.
If brokenness don't give you anything, humility is one of them, because it will humble you.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree totally.
Absolutely. Tichet, you're like me. I get excited sometimes and I create my own words, or sometimes my words don't come out right. Infectious. I need to say that when I really want to say something. It's infectious. Infectious, it just
Yeah.
spreads.
Yes,
When we
yes.
think about the benefits of being broken, so you talked about a lot of things, being broken. If we're denying it, then we can't identify it. We can't give it care and attention. We can't figure out what it is. We can't figure out how. If you don't know what it is, how do you know what's holding you back? If we're in denial, we're not addressing it. And if we're in denial, it might be that one thing that will set you free. It might be that one thing that will cause you to pick up momentum in your life and for you to really cross over and accomplish your goals. But if we're in denial, we're stuck there, and it's like that door is closed. All the other doors in our life are open, and that one door is closed, and you can feel that blockage. You can feel that energy of that one door being closed. So when we talk about the benefits of being broken, we want to, in order to recognize this as yourself, you have to do your own work. in order to
Yes.
see this for yourself. Because, and number one, you have to see your brokenness as a benefit and not just a loss or a disadvantage. Because, like I said, you know, when you hear the word broken, it comes with this negative energy attached to it. It's not something exciting or something that you run towards or want to inquire about. But there are benefits of being broken. What are we saying here in this episode? The benefits of being broken, meaning, if think about the areas in your life where you were broken, or there's a crack, or you were bent or torn the wrong way, or something didn't work out. And I don't mean just, I mean, because we get disappointed sometimes in our lives. They aren't defining moments. I mean a disappointment that became a defining moment for you, or a destiny moment for you, and you it took you a long time to get beyond that. See, that's why we call these sessions beyond the break, because you have to get beyond a break in order to continue to live your life. Life doesn't stop at a break. It does not stop. Life should not stop happening just because we encountered a break or a crack in the road, or, you know, on our journey. But you have to step out of denial, and you have to ask yourself some powerful questions, like, where am I broken? I can tell you for sure, you know, I was broken in an area of my life, and I didn't even know I was broken there, because I was functioning in it. And have you ever heard the phrase a functioning alcoholic, or a functioning drug addict, or a functioning this, or a functioning that? It is possible to function in your brokenness. And the thing about that is, once we discover that, I want you to think about something for a moment. Look at all that you've accomplished in a broken state. I did an assessment, and Tichet, you and I talk about this sometimes. I did an assessment when I discovered that I was broken in an area, because I wanted to go further. As attractive thinkers, we're truth seekers. We're always rediscovering ourselves and these beautiful gems about ourselves. But I did an assessment. I said, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, I did this, I did that. I said, if I can do all of that broken, if I can accomplish all of that in a broken state, I wonder how much more I could accomplish when I'm whole, when I heal, when I do my work and heal myself back to my whole state. I wonder how much more I could get accomplished. You think about that, attractive thinker. So we talk about the benefits of being broken. What we're really saying is this: you would not be who you are today had not you been broken in these places. You may have been broken on the right and broken on the left, or broken below, or broken above, or broken in your heart, or broken in this area, that area, or broken in your finance, or broken in a relationship. Had not you been broken in those areas, you would not be the person, the man or the woman that you are today. So that's one benefit. And I'm talking to attractive thinkers who love who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to attractive thinkers who have stepped into their greatness, and they know that there's something fantastic and amazing about them. I'm talking to attractive thinkers just like you, who are clear that they're more than what they have become. That's who I'm talking to today, to Shed and I. Now, when I'm talking to that type of an attractive thinker, you can be broken and do some incredible things. But because you're an attractive thinker and you're a truth seeker and you dive deep, you want to know reasons behind things, or you want to know the depth and the essence. You want to know more about certain areas of yourself. You start to look and see where you can enhance. You start to look and see how you can use this brokenness. That's what we're talking to you about today. The benefits of being broken, meaning, as an attractive thinker, you take that broken area and you find a way, you figure it out how you can use it to your benefit and the benefit of others. So there are benefits of being broken. Back to you, Tichet.
The benefits of being broken is learning how to turn your pain into power. And that's basically what you're saying. You go through a lot of different things, and now you then take that thing that you didn't want or you didn't desire,
Mm-hmm.
that feel like it made you get to a breaking point where you feel like you couldn't get past it. Now you take that thing and you turn that into power.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you said, previously, you don't want to go through something for nothing. You want to learn how to take our pain and turn them into power. Do you realize how many things work that we admire today were created out of the brokenness? You look at some of these stars that got Grammys and Oscars and Emmys and all those things that's going on. A lot of the stuff that they have done and what they've known for was created in the brokenness. You know, one of the things I think too is a lot of our breakthrough comes right after the brokenness. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, that breakthrough that we're looking for. And sometimes when we're in the brokenness, we can't see beyond that. We can't see, you know, that we're going to get out of this. We tend to try to make a home in the brokenness. We tend to try to make it permanent, where we are like, you know, this is life. I just need to accept it. No, brokenness is not life. Brokenness is for stretching. It is for helping you to really mold you. It's to bring stuff out of you. All things work together for the good. So if you find yourself in a broken place, be willing, be determined that you're going to make it out of this. Look around you. Look at what is created. Look at how your thinking has changed, how you have matured. Look at all the things that you have gone through. This is where the assessment again comes into play, because you can look at all of these things that it's been teaching you. There's something that's been speaking to you this entire time. It's been telling you you are a strong, courageous woman. It takes a lot of courage to do what you did. It takes a lot of courage to put up and deal with what you had to put up and deal with. And now it takes that same courage to make it useful for power, to turn that pain into power. Don't go through nothing for nothing. I don't want to go through anything for nothing. I want everything to serve a purpose. If I got to cry a tear, I want that tear to water a seed that turns my flower, that makes my flower blossom. You know, so it's so many things that we create out of it. I feel like visual encourager came out of the brokenness. It wasn't until I became absolutely broken, like to pieces, shredded, feeling like I was just like disappearing, where, you know, it was just, I didn't see myself coming up from that. But I fought, and I fought hard, you know, and I was willing to take a stand. And I said, you know, I'm not going to die in this process. That's why I, you know, relate to the butterfly, because it teaches me not to die in the process. But out of all of that pain, visual encourager was birthed. And now I can go out here and help encourage others and uplift others. I said I was called to the people who are deep because I was once deep. When you're deeply wounded and you heal, you know how to help others who are deeply wounded. You're not going to just go throw a Band-Aid on it when it needs surgery. You know, you're not going to just go and throw, you know, just some peroxide and just leave it. You know, there's some stuff you got to do. There's some work you got to do in order to heal. You can't expect the surface cut to heal the same way a deep wounded cut heal. They heal differently, but you got to be willing again to expose it, to understand it, to assess it, and then be willing to do the work that it takes to climb out so you can get through the end of the tunnel and turn that brokenness into breakthrough and get all that you desire and all that you deserve. So yes, I totally agree with you.
There are benefits of being broken. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tichet. You mentioned something about brokenness creates something. Brokenness is for growth or expansion. Brokenness does something to us, and I think it takes us to another level. I know it did me. It was like the world that I had known it no longer existed, just like what we're going through right now. The world that we knew it as no longer exists. And we can keep sitting by and waiting for things to go back to the way that they used to be all we want. They're not going back to the way that they used to be. We have stepped into a new normal. It may not have been by choice. And I believe that sometimes when it's time for our lives to change, we can go voluntarily or we can go involuntarily, but we're going to change because change is a part of the process of life. It is a part of our growth and expansion and our evolution to becoming greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. How are we going to continue to become greater if we want to stay on this level of greatness? We want to just stay and enjoy this that we've created so far, or who we are right now. When we talk about the benefits of being broken, your greatness, think about this. If you have a vase and it has these beautiful flowers in there, it has water in there. If that vase breaks, if you drop it, or if it falls on the floor, somebody pushes it over, or it tilts, then something that's in the vase comes out. The water comes out, the food, the plant food that you had in there, that comes out, the flowers, they're all over the floor. When something breaks, something gets released, something comes out. So in our lives, when we encounter a broken space in our lives, or a broken experience, an experience that breaks us in some area, most of the time we focus on the brokenness. I know I did for a long time. I focused on how broken I was and how hurt I was, and how different I had become as a result of that. Because a breaking changes you. It changes your belief. It changes your trust. It changes what you thought you knew. It changes how you show up in the world. It changes your thoughts. It changes your heart. When something breaks, it breaks inside of you. I've even had an experience where I encountered something and I could feel my heart rip. I could feel it in my spirit. I could feel the ripping on the inside. Brokenness is a real thing. And a lot of times you can't see brokenness on a person unless they are deeply broken, and it starts to manifest physically with the countenance of their face, the color of their skin, the darkness of their eyes. And I don't mean like dark circles. You can look into a person's eyes and you can tell what's going on in there. Well, you can tell whether they're all there or not. You can tell, sometimes you say nobody's home. You can tell if somebody's home or not. You can tell whether they're holding on to something or not. You can tell whether they want to talk to you and they just don't know how. You can tell a lot by looking in somebody's eyes. And when a person is broken, it manifests in so many different ways. You have to really be in tune with that person to know that they're operating in a broken state. And you, as an attractive thinker, us as attractive thinkers, we have the ability to minister them in such a way to flip their perception of that brokenness. Because on the flip side of brokenness is a reality that is fantastic and amazing. There are gems and jewels there. There are treasures there that you were supposed to gather along the way. Life, you're not going to experience a brokenness in life and it not come with some glory and some greatness, and something that you can use throughout the rest of your journey. Imagine you're journeying along the road and you experience some things, but you also experience some things that make you laugh, to make you smile. Some memories come up. It's just like going through your garage, or going through some old papers, or going through your attic, or cleaning up and remodeling your room. You're going to find it's a lot of work involved, but you're going to find some things that bring you joy, that put a smile on your face. So in that broken experience, that experience that broke your heart and left you in a broken state, there comes a point in time on your journey, whereas you're not focusing so much on the brokenness. Now you discover some things are coming into your mind and into your heart. You're getting clarity and revelation on things, and you see a gem there. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Or somebody will say something to you or compliment you on something, and you say, really? And you know it's directly related to that area that you were broken in. You know where that compliment came from, or you know where that area of your life that was enhanced, where it came from, how it came to be. You know that. You can go back in your mind and say, you know what? I know that I wouldn't be this, or I learned that from. See, as attractive thinkers, this is what we do with our experiences. Now, yes, we are human. We do hurt. And it takes time sometimes for us to get back in our strength and our greatness. But when we do, see, that's the difference between attractive thinkers and us being ordinary people. We might go there in our broken state, but we don't stay there. That's the difference. We have the strength and the courage to get back up because we know who we are. When you know you're great, you know that nothing can really break you. And when I say really break you, I mean break you into your everlasting broken. I mean just broken forever, never to recover. That's not going to happen to you. So we learn from our brokenness. We understand it's as bad as it hurts. It hurts to break an arm. It hurts to break a foot. It hurts to break a leg. But we do heal and recover because healing is built in, and we have to be willing to accept that healing so that we can be willing to go to the next level. To shed, there are benefits of being broken, and you and I have discovered so many benefits of being broken, and I'm excited to share that with our listening audience today. Back to you.
You've said so many powerful things. One of the things I wanted to bring across was when you said treasure, you got to gather your treasures along the way. That's something that I would have loved to have known. And now that I know it, I'm just paying attention to the little treasures because that's something you don't really think about beforehand, before you go through the brokenness. And that's why we're here beyond a break to teach you these things. And hopefully you can pass it down to people that's coming behind you, sisters, you
Yeah.
know, your children and things like that. But gathering your treasures along the way, you just never hear that. And you say, well, what kind of treasures do I have in this? I'm here. I have nothing. This that you're coming down hard on yourself. What kind of treasures do I get? You know, you build yourself up. You build your confidence. You get to know who you really are in this. You understand you got so much strength, and it made you into something amazing. It made you into something powerful. There's so much that comes out of this. But gathering your treasures along the way, you don't hear that too often. That was a good one. Another one was focused when you talked about we focus on the pain. That's where it can go really left.
Mm,
When you take that focus off of the solution and put the
yeah,
focus on the problem and the pain of the problem.
yeah,
When what you focus on will grow. So the more you focus on the pain, the harder it's going to hurt. So if I break my arm and I'm focusing on that I'm focusing so hard on that I could feel now don't get me wrong, you can feel pain without focusing, but when you focus heavily on it, it makes it a lot worse. So when you're in the delivery room giving birth, I don't know if this happened to everybody, but this was one of the things that I've seen quite a few times, that when you're in birth, they have somebody that might be by your side to help you focus on stuff, focusing on breathing. They might have something that's comforting near you, something that they might be able to tell you to help you focus more on the giving birth than the actual pain, just so you can bear it through the pain. But when you're focusing on the pain, you are stifling yourself. You're getting in the way. And look at last week's episode where we talked about getting out of our own way. You're getting in the way when you choose to focus on the pain. And like you said also, you have to be willing. Again, we talked about where there's a will, where there's a way. When you have a will, there's no excuse for you to lay and rest in the brokenness. You push past the brokenness. You give birth to the brokenness. It is important as well to have people in your space. So you got to assess everybody in your space. It is important to have people in your space that knows where you stand, knows where you're going, and are willing to hold you accountable, and not to just let you sit back and stay steady in the brokenness. You have people that know when to push, when not to push, when to breathe, when to rest. Because there is a time to push and there is a time to rest. And it is important that when you're giving birth to something, that you know the difference in order for you to push past this, so that you can make it out of the brokenness, but not just make it out. We're not just making it out of stuff here. We're not just surviving. We
mm,
are thriving beings.
yes.
We are making it out with great substance. We are making it out, and we got so much to give, so much to offer. We come out better. If you break my vase and I'm shattered into pieces, you better believe I'm going to come back as a mosaic tile, more beautiful than I was before I got broken.
Yes.
Yes, all the stuff came out, but I'm not going to leave the stuff on the floor.
Yes.
I'm going to get my stuff and
Mm.
I'm gonna fix my mosaic tile, and I'm gonna put that substance back in, but it's going to be better than before because now I know better and I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to recognize where you stand
Mm-hmm.
as far as your life is concerned, and be willing to go past the brokenness. The
Yeah.
brokenness is not the way of life. It's not. That is not what you are called to do. You are not called to be broken. You
Mm-hmm.
are called to pull your gems out of the broken, like Dr. Toni said. You are called to get your substance out of that brokenness. This is not the way of life. Don't get used to feeling, oh, I just can't make it every time I try. When it rains, it pours. I'm not making a life in when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
I'm making a life to understand that when it does rain, and if it does pour, it ain't going to rain and pour forever. But when it does, it's going to clean some stuff and it's going to renew some stuff. It is necessary for my growth. It's necessary to make sure that I'm able to produce in the way that I can. Can you imagine a world without the rain? It's the same thing. Darkness has its place in your life, but it's not the place in your life. Light is. Light has the place in your life. Light is at the forefront. Darkness will enhance the light. It will, because you don't know light until you've been through something dark. It's
Yes.
hard to appreciate. You Nothing will help you appreciate something good until you have just come out of something bad. But you got to come out. You
Yeah.
can't stay in it. You can't stay stuck in it. So if you're in a place where you feel stuck and you feel broken, I want to encourage you that there's life beyond that break, and not just living in the break, but taking your substance out of that break, taking it, getting it out there, serving it. It'll serve you, like we said last week. It's two ways. It serves two ways. It
Yes.
serves you and it serves the people who are called to you, because there's people who are called to you. Believe it or not, you have a ministry, you have a calling on your life. And if your life has ever been saved from something, maybe you had a car accident, anything, and you see that your life was spared, you have a calling on your life. That means you have work to do. We don't have time to sit here and focus on pain. Focus on the power. Focus on it. That power will pull you through anything. When you focus on the power and you have that determination and that will to focus on that power, it will pull you through anything. It's like when you're doing a workout and you're focusing on the building of the muscle. You're focusing on the end result. You're focusing on how you're going to look in your clothes and how your confidence is coming up. You're not focusing on the pain of lifting them 40, 50-pound weights. If you focus on the pain, you won't lift it anymore.
Yeah.
But that result is what will pull you through and get you through it, because you know that there's something I'm working for here. Your life, there is something you are working for. There's power in your pain. You just got to push past it. One thing, too, that I did want to say is you can't take away, when you get to a point in your life where you recognize that you have gone through so much and you have decided that you were going to pull out, and you know that you're courageous and now strong, and now you're standing tall, and you're standing, on everything that you have learned. You're walking it out. You're implementing it, the things that you learned.
Mm-hmm.
You become proud of yourself, but you don't want to fall back into the regret of, I should have been here sooner. I should have been here. I should have, what I could have. You don't want to get caught up in that, because everything you have gone through has added up to who you are now, which is wonderful, which is great, which is unique, which is powerful. Everything you have gone through has added up to now. Every little detail of your life played a part in the person you have become, which is amazing. So I always say you can't take away the process without taking away the reward. So with I love the reward. The reward is too great. So I think I'll keep my process, because it makes sure that my reward stays in the stick. So that's basically my take on that. It's so amazing that we get to walk out this journey and we get to understand these things and not really have to, focus on living in the pain. We don't have to. So back to you, Dr. Toni. That was just so many wonderful points that you gave.
Yes, and I'm feasting off of your comments, Tichet, because I pulled a lot of gems from your expression just now. And I want to say to our listening audience, if you're listening to this message, from this day forward, I declare that your lens has been shifted. And from this point on, you will only see the benefits of your brokenness. You will never, ever look at your brokenness again with a dim light, with a negative eye or negative perception. From this moment on, right here, this message is, we're not just talking here. We're pouring into your spirit. We're turning the light on for you so that you can discover the little shiny gems in the area where you were broken, the little shiny gems they're just there. They're laying there, your treasure. When you broke, see, our treasure is in our heart. When our heart breaks, our treasure is available. We can access it. Now, if you leave yourself in a broken state, or you walk away and don't want to deal with your brokenness, you're not just walking away from the broken thing, you're walking away from the treasure that was supposed to enhance your life. But from this moment on, may you only see the benefits of your brokenness, the benefits of the area that where you were broken, the benefits and how it has enhanced your life. May you only see, and may you continue to discover new gems that you never even considered, new gems that are revealed to you, new ideas, new resources, new strategies that you can use. And the thing about it is, only you have these gems because they're customized and unique to you, because only you were broken in that particular area. Yes, we all experience brokenness, but your brokenness is unique to you, and so are your gems. So I wanted to bring that out. Another thing you said, to share, when we're talking about the benefits of being broken, and you might say, well, Dr. Toni, I can't find any gems. I can't see anything good that could come out of what I've been through. I guarantee you, if I put you in a room with 1,000 people and I ask them to write down one thing, just one thing, one advantage that you have over everybody else in the room because of your brokenness, one beautiful thing that came up, one advantage, one opportunity, one great thing, one benefit of that area that you've been broken, I guarantee you that everybody can write down at least one thing. That's 1,000 gems that they have gathered from your one experience or area where you were broken, that you may have overlooked or you may not have considered. So, it's easy to say, well, I can't find anything good from what I've been through. I didn't discover any gems along the way, or I don't see how that made me better. We have to sit with ourselves, and we have to get our journal, our attractive thinker notebook and pen and handy, and write it out. Because it's in you. You talk it out, you write it out, you sing it out, but you have to do something to get it out. And when you're talking it out or writing it out, the gems just pop out along the way. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know that was in there. They're just coming out along with all the other stuff. You might sit down and say, I'm going to write this ordinary journal entry to myself, and all of a sudden a gem pops out. You didn't even know it was there. You were like, wow, I never considered that. I didn't know that was a result of that. Or I didn't know that I could use that. Or I didn't know that I had become that. Or I didn't know that I had changed in that area. Or I didn't know that my life got better as a result of that. You're right, my life did get better. You're going to start talking to yourself, and the spirit in you is going to begin to reveal some things to you that you missed. You just missed it. Another thing I wanted to say, Tichet, you really stirred up some things in me with your last expression, based on your responses. These things were coming before me. Your attention, if you're going to focus, because you mentioned this, Tichet, if you're going to focus on the break, then you're steering your attention in that direction. If you steer your attention off of the break, now you can find the gems, because your attention is what the break. The number one, you said, Tichet, breaks have a purpose. You said they cause us to grow and expand. But when a break happens, it's an opportunity for us to get something. It's trying to get something to us. So when something breaks, it gets your attention. If that thing, that area in your life that never broke, you would have never given it as much attention as you have. You gave it everything you had. And not just, you didn't give that experience all of your attention, you gave yourself all of that attention. You started focusing on air, you started researching, you started discovering new things about yourself. You wanted to know more about you and who you were as a result of being broken in that particular area, as a result of that experience. Had not that happened, you would not know who you are. Had not that happened, you would not know what your gifts are. Your heart, that's where your treasure is, and your gifts and everything beautiful about you. I want you to understand, when your heart breaks, when you experience that break, now it's open. You break open, and now you can see what you're made of. You didn't know that you could go that far until you were broken. You didn't know that you could accomplish so much until you you were broken. How else would you know? Nobody likes to be broken. Nobody. Think about this. When somebody breaks a foot, you didn't anticipate that. That wouldn't have been your choice if you had to choose. That wouldn't have been your choice. We like our feet. You don't want to walk around with a broken foot, but it was that broken foot that caused you to slow your life down. And when you slowed your life down, you were able to see things that you were missing along the way. When you slowed your life down, you're laying around with your foot propped up. Now you can hear your thoughts. Now you can think. Now you can't run from that broken area. You got to deal with it. So had not you broke your foot, you would not have had the time to deal with that area that you were in denial about, and discover that it's not as bad as you thought it was. And discover that there were more gems than there were pain. And Tichet, you brought up about the birth. A woman giving birth to a child. I had the pleasure. Everybody who knows me knows how I love children and the birthing process and the carrying the baby, the whole 9 yards. I think it's just incredible how we can do that. Work with God to bring another human being into the world. And my niece called me. I was on call anyway. I was waiting for her to have this baby. She called me. She's like, Aunt Toni, I'm in the hospital. I dropped everything. I said, okay, as soon as I pick this kid up from school and bring them back home, I said, I'm on my way to the hospital. And I got there, and the room was full of people, and she was in distress and da-da-da. And I was able to calm her down. I said, no, 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 no. You were built for this. You are capable of giving birth. This is not going to break you. You're not distraught. You're not losing your mind. No, we're built for this as women. We're built for this. Get back to your center. Come back to your strength. Something amazing is about to happen in your life right now. And when the nurse heard me, I leaned down in her face and I started talking to her. The nurse said, oh, you got the right one in the room now. Oh, you're about to give birth to me. She was like, Aunt Toni, my back. I said, just tell me where it hurts, and I know what to do about that. But you're going to calm down, and we're going to do this the right way, because you're about to give birth to a baby. See, it's at those times where you need the right people. See, sometimes, Tichet, when we're experiencing something breaking in our lives, if we're not around people who have the capacity to minister to us in our brokenness, or have the capacity to shine the light in that broken area, so you can not just see the crack, but you can see the gems and the beauty and the results and the glory that's coming out of that brokenness. If you're not surrounded by people like that, all you see in a dim light is the brokenness, and that's not encouraging. That's not going to motivate you to keep pushing. So in our broken state, it's essential that we are around people who can see beyond the break. Back to you, Tichet.
Yes, it is. It is very important. It's funny though, because when we are going through stuff, we tend to get closed off. So even when people like us, or people that will minister to you, try to come and minister to you, you go run back to your room, run under the covers, pull it over your head, play your sad song, eat your chocolate cake. It's like you make room for that. So if you're going through stuff, just know that you're pregnant with something.
Yeah.
You're pregnant with something. If you're going through the brokenness because you're pregnant with something, if you weren't, life would be so regular. And I put emphasis on the regular. Because there's so much that is birthed out of the process of of brokenness. There's so much that is birthed. And I believe that we are called to it. That's why we are going through stuff. So when you are surrounded by people who understand that, that can say what I like to call trigger words, where if like Dr. Toni, if I was going through something right now, you would know 2 or 3 words that you can say that will snap me right back to where I need to be and keep me pedaling on that bike. Ain't no giving up on this hill. We're going to get to the top of the hill and then we're going to wee on the way back down, you know? So, you know, you have to have people who know what your trigger words are. And listen, if you don't know your trigger words, sit down, assess, and then see what sparks you, or pay attention from this point on. When you're going forward in life, if you go through another upset, even if it's minor, pay attention to the one thing that snapped you back. Write that down. Put it on your wall. Put it on somewhere near where you can see it. I put mine on my wall because I needed to meet my eyes in the morning when I open my eyes. The trigger words that'll shift me right back to where I left off, so I don't go back and start over. We don't want to keep starting over. I don't want to keep going through the same lesson over and over again. And I know that if you don't learn the lesson, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to go through it again until you get the lesson, because you will give birth to this baby.
Yeah.
You are going to give birth, you know, like you told your niece, you were made, you were created for this. You were made for this. Our bodies were built to produce. Yeah. We were made to multiply. So unfortunately, in multiplying, sometimes it's not always easy. Some people might have it easier than others, but I don't know, no birth that's easy. You know, like I said on the previous episode, I was in labor for a long time, for days, and it was not easy, but me thinking about my baby and how I just wanted her to be healthy. You know, I just want, and that's what we do. We want with our business and our ministry and our gifts and our talents and the things that we're creating and producing. We want it healthy. So we're willing to take all we need to take in order to birth forth that healthy thing that you're giving birth to. You're willing to go through it. You're not going to just give up in the birthing process. You got to push. And so we're having people around you that knows what you need at that time. See, you knew what your niece needed. You knew what she needed to hear. You knew what you needed to hear in that moment. You know, and like I said, if you don't have trigger words, check it out. Look at when you go through something, what snaps you right on back? What brings you, what lifts up your mood? What motivates you? What gets you out of that bed? You know, we go through different sorrows and we lay there and we cry, and then the next day we like, you know what, I'm gonna get out of this bed and da da da. What were you listening to? What were you reading? Who were you talking to? You know, I remember Dr. Toni, when we were doing the radio, one of the things that you said to me is to pay attention to my you didn't say the word vibration, but you said pay attention to my energy levels. And you said when they go up, that is an indicator that we need to be doing more of that. When it goes down, that is also an indicator that we need to not be doing as much as that. So with that, I started paying attention to everything. I would take what you would say, and then I would go out, and the next person I talk to, I would be paying attention. I would be focused, and I would be like, okay, energy level normal. Okay, I would be paying attention to everything. Then I would watch a television program, or I would do something, and I would pay attention to when my levels would go up or down. And I'll say, oh, okay, I got it. I will do more of this. Okay, I need to read more books. Got it. That was a big thing for me. When I'm feeling down, grab a book that will shape and shift my mind back to where it needs to be in order for me to go forward. Who do you listen to? Who are your mentors? Who is your business partners, your running partner? Like Dr. Toni is my partner in power. If we gonna go somewhere, we're gonna empower together. Yeah. Whenever we come together, there's some sort of power that comes up. And so who is your partner in power? Who are you assigned to run with? Because you're not assigned to, everybody's not assigned to run with you. Everybody cannot run with you, and that's the truth. I know that that's not the most delightful
popular
thought. Huh?
Yeah, the most popular.
Yes, it's not. Because you want to take your family and friends with you. You want everybody to celebrate with you and go up with you and make it to the top with you. You want, you want this, but I always said, I'm not a dentist. I am not in the business of pulling teeth. So if I have to pull your teeth and it's frustrating me, that's taking me away from what I'm supposed to be doing. So I had to come to terms that whoever goes with me is because they want to go with me. They done already made the decision. I don't have to make the decision for them. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I got tired of trying to make people drink, to the point where I say, look, I'm going here and I'm going to drink. You can come with me or not. And I don't judge it, because everybody don't want what you want. Everybody don't want to go where you're going. Some people are completely comfortable with being mediocre. Some people are completely comfortable with that. And again, that's okay for them. That's not okay for me. I'm not judging them, because their experience might not call for what my experience called for. But I know that if I'm going to the top, I have to take willing participants, not willing standby, willing watchers, people that just stand by and just watch. They just being nosy spectators, what we call it. I want willing participants, because if I go down, I need somebody with a strong arm that won't let me go, that will pull me up and say, sis, you better than that. Here, let me help you fix your crown. We gonna make it to this top, bruises and all. We're going to make it to this top. It's no turning around. But that's because they know that this is something that I really wanted. It's just the circumstances that presented itself at the moment was not favorable. And it was hurtful, and it caused me to break down for a second. But like you said earlier, champions, we go down, but we don't stay down. We get back up. We keep fighting no matter what. We give it our all no matter what. If I got breath in my body, if I can speak to you and I can hear you, if I have life, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to give up so easily. There was times where I wanted to. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie. There was times where I wanted to, but I thank God that I had people. As a matter of fact, let me just share, because again, we talk about exposure. So I had a miscarriage years ago, and it really broke my spirit, because a lot of people didn't understand that I didn't just lose a baby. I lost a 10-year answered prayer. 10 years. I lost an answered prayer. And I was like, okay, finally. And I was in a process of losing everything at the same time. And I mean everything at the same time. So when I had gotten pregnant, I was like, oh, good, a glimmer of hope. I got so excited and I was so happy, and I did not want to move. I focused so hard on not losing that baby that I actually lost the baby, because I was focusing on losing the baby. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to carry bananas. I didn't want to do anything. I was just trying to keep the baby, because my daughter was premature. I was just trying not to have another premature birth. But I remember being in a state of brokenness, and I just shut my phone off. I didn't want to watch TV. I just laid in the bed and watched the trees. I did. And I was wasting away my life. And if I had my way at that time, I would have given up. I would have taken all the power that I possess now to the grave. Yeah. But I remember you called me and you said, you don't have to say anything, just listen. And you started talking, and it's crazy because I couldn't say anything because I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I couldn't say anything. You said you don't have to say anything. Listen, and you start talking about how our bodies will go through certain routines without us thinking about it involuntarily, because it recognizes how the routines and things like that. You start talking about how our minds operate. You start going in, and next thing you know, before I knew it, I was up folding clothes and cleaning, and I almost took all that power to the grave. Almost took it. You know how much stuff I created since then? Yeah. You know how many art and posts and encouragement and people I done spoken to their life, and people I done helped. Yeah. That went through what I went through, people I done helped off a ledge. Yeah. I almost took all of that to the grave if I had my way. But this is what I'm talking about. Life beyond the break. The woman I am now, I will not undo any of that now. Now, if you'd have asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said, I don't want to go through that again. But if you ask me that now, after I did so much work to get where I am, I'm not undoing any of that, because undoing any of that will take away all that I have gotten thus far. And I'm going further, believe it. But I wouldn't take away any of that. And I remember praying a prayer sometime last year. I remember saying, God, I thank you for every tear that I cried. I thank you for every tear shed, because I know that it was purposeful, it was shaping me, and it was raining on my seed. And I needed that. And I thank you. And it allowed me to build. It allowed me to grow. And so I wouldn't take away any of that. So you have to have people in your life that can speak power into you when you feel powerless.
Yes.
That is important. It's important, you know, because you can't do it all by yourself all the time. Yeah, I mean, you can try, and sometimes it feel like you do, but you can't be closed off, that you don't see the person that's assigned to run with you, that you don't see the person that's assigned to speak into your life. Because I could have not answered that phone.
Yes.
I could have not answered that phone. I could have been mean. I could have been, you know, I don't want to talk to anybody. Why are you calling me? I could have been anything, but I wasn't. I could not speak. Now, you know, when you're in the place of broken, that you cannot speak. And if you're there right now, I encourage you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You will make it through this. You got this. There's so much more in store for you. This pain you're in is not the way of life. You're going to make it past this 100 times over. You're going to be so much greater because of this. This is shaping you into something wonderful. Be determined to get that power out of your pain. Be determined to turn it into something amazing, and then have a nerve to go out there and feed it to the world, and have people look at you and say, yeah, I've gone through the fire. I have gone through the fire, but not a smoke is on me. Go through, do that. Have that strength and that courage, and have those people in your life, and assess yourself, expose it so you can heal. You got this. You got this. You're going to make it through it. If I can make it through anything, if I feel like I can make it through anything. If I can make it through all the stuff that I had to make it through in that 1 year, you can make it through it too. You got this. You just got to be willing. Don't give up. Don't give up. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
That's good, Tichet. I mean, I'm glad that you shared a part of your journey with our audience, because they need to hear that. Attractive thinkers need to know that we're talking about real breaks. We're not just talking about something we read in a book. We're not just talking about something that we heard along the way. We're talking about real breaks. We're not just talking about something that really doesn't break you, something just disappoints you or frustrates you. No, we're talking about when your heart really breaks. We're talking about a deep wound. We're talking about something that could cause you to check out of here. We're talking about something that could cause you to give up, a real break. You know, I wrote a book, Don't Be Afraid, He's Preparing You. And that's what I want to share with our listening audience today. Life beyond that break, or the benefits of being broken. One of the benefits is you're being prepared. You may not even, it doesn't matter whether you know what you're being prepared for or not. When I wrote that book, I didn't know that I was being prepared. It just came out of my spirit. I was paying attention. See, when something breaks, when your heart breaks, it causes you, it reels in your attention in a specific area. Now it has your attention. Now God has your attention. Now life has your attention. And when something has your attention, it has all of you. I want you to think about that. So now you can get you can tune in. You can hear what you weren't normally hearing. So I wrote that book, Don't Be Afraid, He's Preparing You, because it was a trying time in my life, and it was an attempt to give back to others what wasn't accessible to me. You know, at the time my son was diagnosed with cancer of the retina. They call it retinoblastoma, whereas it was bilateral cancer in both of his eyes. By the time he was 5, we had to make the decision to have his eyes removed in order to save his life. My firstborn, you know how excited you are with your firstborn. You know the anticipation that comes along with that, and all of the promises that come along with that, the promising future, and just raising the child and all this and that. And now this, he wasn't even a year old. His first birthday was spent in the hospital on radiation treatment. I want you to think about that. We're talking about real breaks here. What do you do when the doctor says the only solution to this is we have to remove both of his eyes? What do you do? And he's not even a year old yet. He hasn't been here enough to see anything or to understand what he's seeing or anything like that. What do you do when your heart breaks? And you mentioned, Tichet, about something concerning the break or feeling a certain way for so long or something like that. But it reminded me of how I felt. How about when you cry so long and so hard that you run out of tears?
Wow.
Have you ever experienced anything in your life that made you cry so much that you ran out of tears? That my eyes were no longer wet, they were just sounds.
Yes.
All you heard was sounds. I had run out of tears. I had never cried so much in my life, whereas I ran out of tears. No matter what I did, I couldn't produce another tear. That's a real break. So in the meantime, here's the beautiful part about this, or should I say the crazy, weird part about this, in the midst of my heart breaking, I mean breaking and ripping into shreds, Spirit of God was still talking to me, giving me revelation concerning them, showing me these brighter days, showing me these fantastic and amazing images. And I'm like, how can these things be? Once you remove his eyes, he can't see. How can these things be? But God is so fantastic and amazing, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows the possibilities when we don't. It like I was saying earlier, you don't have to know what you're being prepared for or how it's going to work out. All you need to know is that it will. All you need to hold on to is that it will. And understand, hold on to the belief that this is not the end of me. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is leading, but I know that I know myself. I know there's greatness in me. I know that I have a relationship with God. I know I can hear God. I know that I'm walking in such a way that every day I'm aligning myself with my greatness and with God's purpose for my life. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know that it will. That's enough. If that's as far as you can get in your break right now, then that's enough. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't have to know all of your greatness or where you're going or what this is going to produce or how this is going to turn out. You don't have to know any of that. I had to reduce my life to the moment. I couldn't even think an hour ahead. I had to live in the moment. See, the benefits of being broken, the benefits of a break is you get clarity. Now the things that used to matter no longer matter. Now the things that no longer matter, they're the number one priority. So one of the benefits of the break is you get clarity. You see things more clearly that other people do not, or you see things more clearly that you had foggy thinking about, you weren't sure about. So that break opens your eyes. It shines the light. See, a break steers your attention. It steers your focus. When you don't know, like, oh, what's my purpose? Or I don't know what to do with my life. Or I don't know what God wants from me. Or I don't know what to do about this business deal. That when a break happens, it's clarity immediately. It steers your focus. Like, focus right here. Focus right here. The attractive thinker was birthed. The attractive thinker, the ability to see beyond what you're looking at and the courage to focus on it until it manifests. How did the attractive thinker movement come about? It came about through the break. The same way I was commissioned, the same way you showed your son how to see without eyes, I want you to show people with eyes how to see in life, how to see in the midst of confusion, how to see in the midst of darkness, how to accomplish your dreams and goals when you're not in that environment. You had nobody to go before you and model that before you. You're not surrounded by people who stepped into their greatness. So how do you do that? I'm here to shine the light for attractive thinkers, but the attractive thinker movement was never been birthed had not I been broken in that area, because I started seeking and searching in that brokenness. Sometimes you got to sift through the brokenness and find your stuff, find your greatness. Refuse to go through all of that and produce nothing, because pain produces something. When a woman is giving birth, she's going through labor pains because she's birthing something. I've never seen a woman or heard of a story of a woman who's pregnant going through all these labor pains and contractions and getting IVs and all that, and she push out gas. No, you birth a baby. You push out greatness. You push out something. You don't go through all of that and nothing becomes of it. So if you can't find it, if you're still at a state, your brokenness may have happened years ago and you're still at a state where you didn't get anything out of it, it's still there. Your gems are right where you left them. They are right where you left them. If you seek, you're going to find. It doesn't mean you have to go back into all of the emotion of the brokenness. You're just going back to get your stuff. And I'm telling you, I had come out of that journey years. My son will be 34, probably 35 this year. I can't even keep up now. He'll be 34, 35 this year. And he's gone on with his life. He's a music producer. He's a certified massage therapist. He's traveled. He's lived away from home, out of the state for 10 years. He does whatever he wants to do. But what I want to share with you today is this. There is something that results, something that you give birth. You gave birth to something out of that brokenness. You gave birth to something. You may not know what it is, but I guarantee you, if you start seeking, you're going to find. And I didn't know. I was years out of that journey. I'll say maybe 16, 17 years out of that journey. And I heard a voice. I had a vision. I was sitting on the side of my bed, putting my tennis shoes on because I was going out bike riding with the kids. And I heard a voice. I mean, it was like a whole vision, like just like you turn your TV on and you see a whole movie. That's what started coming before me. I still remember where I was when I saw that. And in this vision, I was being walked through. Something was with me. It was a presence with me. And I was walking through this junkyard and it had piles of rubble in the junkyard. But there was something different about these piles of rubble. There were little shiny things in there. Those were my gems that I had left along the way. Sometimes you're in something and you're so excited and in a hurry to come out of it, you run up out. It's like running out the house without your keys in your purse or your wallet. You forget the most precious things. And the voice was telling me that I left my gems along the way. And not only did the voice reveal to me the gem, tell me that I left them, but it was telling me what the gems were. And I began to absorb it. I said, oh my God, and the tears began to roll. I said, how can these things be? How can that come from this? How can something like that come from so much pain? It's because the break had a purpose. There were benefits to you being broken. So from this day forward, attractive thinker, instead of viewing your brokenness as in a victim's perception or view from a victim's viewpoint, I want you to view your brokenness from a greatness viewpoint. I want you to view your brokenness, say, wow, something broke me, so it was my treasure in my heart. If my heart broke, my treasure's in there. What do I now have access to that I didn't have access to prior to the break? See, that's a different perception. All you have to do is ask yourself that question and just leave it. Leave your attractive thinker notebook open. Leave your journal ready, because it's going to pour out of you like never before, and you'll discover the gems that you left along the way, because there are benefits to being broken. Back to you, Tichet.
Yes, that is so amazing. You brought so many amazing points. One of the things that you were talking about was when you went back into the rubble to get your gems, the shiny gems. You had to have been willing to see to push past what you were going through in order to see those gems. But what I thought about when you were saying that was kind of like when the house catch fire. You know, again, I like to paint a picture so that people can understand more clearly. Yeah. But imagine for a second your house catch on fire. The first thing you're doing is panicking. You know, you're panicking. You're trying to grab the first thing that's important and trying to rush on out the house, and then the house is engulfed in flames, right? But when them firefighters or the people that is sent to put out that certain fire so that you can begin to recover comes in your life, put out that fire, they then say, okay, you can now walk back through to go and pick and see if there's anything that is salvageable. That's basically what you're saying. So you're going through and you're picking out the thing that's salvageable. You might see maybe a picture that was on the ground. It still might have some parts of value left in it. But here's the thing. You can get so concerned with the fact that your house caught fire and really focus on that. But if you have insurance, You know that even though there's some things that are not replaceable, you know the basic stuff is replaceable. You know, you can't replace lives and things like that, you know, but the structure of your home and the furniture that's in it, those things can be replaced. You have to ask yourself, what is your insurance? In other words, what is the tools that you have in place for the time if your house should catch fire? What is your, have you done a fire drill over your life? What happens if this, that, and the other happens? Because you don't want to get caught when this stuff go on and then you're all over the place and panicking and you don't know your exit strategy. You don't know how to get out. And then when they put out the fire, you go sit in a hotel somewhere and you just feel like your whole life is over and it's over forever. No, you cry, you allow yourself to process what just happened, the fact that your house caught fire, this is how it caught fire, this is what I lost in the fire, this is what I went back in and got from the fire. Now it's time for me to rebuild my life. You don't stay in that hotel forever sulking over the fire. If you have insurance or tools set in place, you go call that insurance company, ask them what you need to do so that you can get started on rebuilding your life. And here's the thing, a lot of people that I have seen that have had a house fire has come out so much greater. They got a better house. Now they got the kitchen they wanted. You know, they've been wanting to change those countertops for a long time, but the fire just helped them. You know, now they got new carpet, new furnace, new appliances, and they made out better. And now everything is fresh, and you slowly but surely heal from the fire, but you'll be protected, and you'll not protected, you'll be prepared for if anything like this should ever happen. So when you were talking about going through the junkyard and salvaging your gems, that's what I was thinking of, is the process of when your house catch fire. What do you have in place? Do you have a drill in place in case your house catch fire? Do you have it in place in case your mind goes into panic mode? You don't want to panic, but you want to think strategy. You want to think and strategize. What do I need to do now? What do I need to do next? I can't sit there and stare at the fire. I will get consumed and burned. And yes, that will kill me if I sit there and stare at the fire. But what do I need to do? What do I need to grab? So in my house, I have a little keepsake box of things that can't be replaced. Like, you know, my ID, my ID can be replaced, but like my social security cards, things like that, I have it in like a keepsake box that if my house catch fire, if I don't grab nothing else, grab this and grab my child, my dog, get out. But grab this little box right here. You know, you have it because everything else is replaceable. Everything else I can go to the store and buy and probably get a better shirt, a better couch, a better anything. But there's something that if it's not something replaceable, like your grandmother's picture, I have my grandmother's picture in there. I have, you know, my daughter's baby picture in there, things, and I have it in a box that it seems fireproof to me. But I have those things ready so that if anything happens, it's not that I'm living in fear. It's that I know enough and have been through enough to know not to walk through this life without having some sort of strategy, without having some sort of preparation, just in case anything goes down. Because I know my life is not perfect. Anything could pop up, but I want to make sure that I'm ready and strong and able to make it through whatever should come forward. You know, I know that there's life beyond the break, so I have my tools in place to help me in case a break comes. You know, we can all sit here and think that, oh, life is going to be all grand and you know, hunky-dory, and it's going to be so much great, and nothing ever will happen to me ever again. But the truth of the matter is, we all go through something. It serves a purpose. We all have to go through something, but you don't have to die in it. You don't have to be consumed. You don't have to stay in it, rest in it, make a home in it, get comfortable in it. You don't have to do anything. So when that day comes that you go through something that is not as desirable as you would like it to be, or you go through something that seems like it's eating at you a little bit, what's in place? This is why we are here. We're helping you to develop those tools to have in place in case anything goes on, that you don't have to make a home in the mess. You don't have to you don't have to get comfortable in pain, but you can start your healing process. You can go to Attractive Thinker Guru. She got tons of programs and stuff there and things that you can utilize to help you to make it through the next thing that's coming, anything that's coming up. We want to make sure that when we go through this life, we're going through this life with great strength. Yeah. And we want to make sure we're going through with wisdom. We want to use wisdom. We don't want to go through just responding to everything. We want to be intentional. We want to make sure that we have things in place that sets us up. We're not just, oh, I'm just going to respond to this and I'm just, reacting. You're just reacting, that you're not really putting forth the effort to be intentional with the way that you do things and the outcome that you're trying to bring about. So then you're just going through the motions of the pain and you're going through it for nothing. I don't want anything in my life to be in vain. Nothing. If I got to go through pain, like you said last week, if I got to go through pain, I want it to be worth something. If my house got to catch fire, I want to make sure that I'm insured and can replace all the things that are replaceable. I got my life, my body, I'm good. Everything else I can rebuild, but I'm going to build it better. I'm not going to build that same thing. I'm not going to rebuild that same. You might have some similar structure, but I'm going to get a better carpet. I'm going to get better appliances. Now I want stainless steel. I had white. Now I want stainless steel because here's my opportunity to be better than I was before the fire started. So then when you're sitting around after the fire, after the break, you're looking at yourself and you're like, man, thank you. Thank you. That was rough. Yes, that was rough. But this here, so much better. I'm good. I'm good. I got it. And that's what you want to do. So awesome, awesome, awesome testimony, Dr. Toni.
Yes, that was wonderful to share. I got so much out of that. Sometimes a break is inevitable. It's going to happen. And like you said, that preparation for these times in our lives, it's about building ourselves up, fortifying ourselves so that when a break happens, we don't lose ourselves. See, yes. I say this all of the time. We can lose a lot of things in life, but when you've lost yourself, you've lost everything, because you are everything to yourself and to others. You are everything. When your heart breaks, you're in there. So you have to guard that area. So you need those tools in place. Tichet talked about insurance, but I want you as an attractive thinker to have an assurance that you're going to get through this break. I want you to have an assurance. I want you to have a certainty, a certain level of confidence to know that whatever you have to go through in this life, whether you feel like it or not, I didn't feel like I had what it took to go through that. I didn't even want to have what it takes to go through something like that. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be strengthened for that. I remember going through that, and God would sing songs to me. Songs would come up out of my spirit that I hadn't heard in years. And I said, why do you keep singing to me? I don't want to sing. I don't want you to strengthen me. See, you haven't been broken until you've been broken to the point where you are broke down to the core. Whereas you don't even want to get back up. I didn't want to, because I knew if he's going to sing to me, then the song is going to lift me up and I got to get back in the fight again. And I didn't want to be strengthened to fight again. I didn't want to be to be uplifted to hurt again, to have to go through this again. So I was like, why do you keep singing songs to me? And of course, I heard a voice say, because I love you. See, sometimes we can't foresee, we can't project, we can't see beyond, but we have to trust. That's where the trust comes in at. When you cannot see where you're going in life, you have to trust that you're going in the right direction, that you're being led in the right direction. You have to trust that it's going to be okay and that it's going to work out and that you will be okay, because sometimes a break is inevitable, but it's for your benefit. It's for your greatness. That break is so that you can be great. That break is to give you clarity. That break is to give you direction. That break enhances you. It makes you better, more fuller. It makes you more valuable. It adds to you. It increases your worth. That break. And sometimes you don't see that. A lot of times you don't see it when it's happening, but just keep on living. Just keep on trusting. Just keep on believing. You know, like Tichet said, put your crown on right and, you know, straighten your clothes up, snap your collar and your shoulders together, because you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this and you're going to be greater, because this break is not just about you. Sometimes when you break that deeply, it's about you being shaped and molded and in such a way that you're now valuable to others. You can now help others. You hear people say it all the time. Oh, I just want to help people. What you want to do with your life? Or what's your purpose? Oh, I just want to help people. I just want to help them. You can't help me if you haven't been through anything. You can't help not an attractive thinker. You can't help a person with vision, a deep person like us, like what we're sharing with you. Attractive thinkers are. How are you going to help a person who already has essence? A person who already knows who they are. How are you going to help? Certain people can't speak into my life. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to talk to me, to be able to lift me up, to be able to encourage me, because I've already been processed. I've already been there. I've already been broken in so many different areas and rebuilt and healed and lifted up. I've already tapped into my greatness. So I need great people. I need great voices speaking into my life. I can't have shallow voices speaking to me, because it has no effect. So if you really want to be able to help people, you have to go through something to have something to offer. So there are benefits of your brokenness. So if you're watching this video and you're listening to this message, I want you to begin to see the benefits of you being broken. You have something to offer somebody now. Whereas at first you were walking around empty-handed. You were full, but you didn't know what you had. Now you know, because you were broken. It's like, wait a minute. Hey, you may not even know what gems you have right now. But you say, hey, wait a minute. Dr. Toni and Tichet are saying that as a result of me being broken, I'm more valuable. I have something to offer. Hey, I may not know what it is, but it makes you sit up straight. It makes you wipe your tears out of your eyes. It makes you, it encourages you, it empowers you, it positions you to get ready for those gems to be revealed in your life and get ready for your life to go to the next level. This is what we are sharing with you today, because there are benefits to being broken. You're not just broken for broken's sake. You're broken to launch to another level, to reveal more of your greatness, to be better, to be more valuable. People are interested in and they invest in things of value. Now you know you're valuable. So you shift from being a victim to being valuable. I want you to think about that. You have something to offer now. Now you have solutions. Now when you're in a crowd of people and you see problems going on, now you can step forward and say, I have a solution, or I am the solution you've been looking for. Because you've been broken in such a way that you fit into certain areas that you didn't used to fit in. Back to you, Tichet.
That is so true. You cannot go back to the way things used to be. You know, this is so amazing how we just make it through stuff, but come out stronger and better. And you're right. You can't, if you have not been through something, um, it's hard to be able to, number one, relate to a person that's going through something, because many people can give advice from a shallow, you know, surface, from a surface standpoint. But when you've gone through stuff and you come across somebody who is going through the deep, you know that surface stuff ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
You can't just throw no cliches at me, because it's not gonna fit, because my wound went deep, you know. So you know how to get through to people. So yes, you are valuable, and I hope you guys were taking so many notes, because there's so much that came out of this, and I'm just so thankful that we were able to you know, learn this stuff, you know, in our lifetime, and be able to walk it out and implement it. And one of the things I want you guys to not forget is also stand in the moment, because you mentioned stand in the moment. That was one of the biggest things for me coming out of the break, is taking it a moment at a time, taking it a second at a time, and just appreciating the moment that you're in, recognizing that you are not still in that fire, recognizing you are not still where the start of where you became broken. You're not there. So you can heal. Make the decision to heal. You know, taking it moment by moment, assessing the air around you. Know that you are safe. Know that you are okay. Know that you are great. Know that you are loved. Know that you are supported. and allow yourself to be encouraged and uplifted. If you can't hear it for yourself, listen to what we're saying until you're able to encourage yourself and lift yourself up. Use everything that we have. We have so many different things. I have visualencouragement.com if you need encouragement and uplifting. Dr. Toni have the Attractive Thinker Guru. She'll help you shift your mindset from sight to vision. There's so many things out here that can help you to go beyond the break, but not just go beyond the break. Because again, we're not just surviving. We are going high. We are thriving. We're not just making it anymore. I don't want to just make it. Oh, I'm just making a sandwich. I don't want to make a sandwich. I want to create one.
Yeah.
I want one that's good. That got all the goods in it.
All the toppings.
It come dripping down your arm. That's when you know it's good. That's how I'm doing my life. I wanted to drip down my arm because it's so good. So we have you have to be willing to understand that this was not meant this was not meant for you to stay broken, but meant to you to give birth and become greater. Dr. Toni, you have shared so many awesome points. I got so many notes out of this thing that I can go and put on my power wall. So I can start implementing a lot of this stuff. It's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for joining us today and sharing with our listening audience the benefits of being broken. Like you said, that break was not designed to destroy you. It was designed to enhance your life and make you greater and more valuable so that you can serve more people and enjoy a more meaningful and fulfilling life for yourself. Tichet, you talked about resources that we have. Attractive Thinkers, I want you to visit the website, theattractivethinker.guru. That's .guru. There's a series there. It's a 2-week series that I hosted a while ago. It's called Strengthen What Remains. I had the pleasure of interviewing, I believe it was 10 different leaders around the country. And one in particular, all of them were just incredible. I mean, every time I listen to it again, I get more gems, and we dropped so many gems along the way. So make sure you have your Attractive Thinker notebook handy when you're listening. But it's a starting point for you. If you can't figure out where your gems are along the way, I want you to tune into this message here. It's a 2-week series. Strengthen What Remains. You can get it in the store. So visit the attractivethinker.guru and click on the store. It's right there. It's a download. Check your email. You can get it right now today so you can start collecting your gems that you left along the way. But there was a story in there that never left me. I was watching the news one day. We watch the local news, but there was an police officer, who I believe it was a routine traffic stop. I don't know. But a car hit her physically. I mean, out of the car. She was standing there. A car hit her, and she fell over the embankment, over the bridge where she was. And I guess she fell like 20 or 30 feet. I'm not sure, but she landed on the ground underneath the bridge. Okay. And she broke bones. It messed it. She lost her career. It changed her life. I mean, a beautiful young woman. I don't know how many years she had been on the police force or whatever, but I had the pleasure of interviewing her, and she shared her story. And I want you to listen to the stories that have been shared. I chose people who I knew had a story, and so that our audience, the attractive thinkers, could know what a gem was. Sometimes you don't even know what a gem is. So how are you going to look for gems in your journey? You don't know what a gem is. So I wanted you to hear other people's stories and the gems that they pulled from their stories along the way. I was even interviewed in this series, so you'll get to hear my story and the gems that I discovered along the way. So that's a great place to start. Visit the store. Strengthen What Remains is the series. It's in the store. And it's a great opportunity for you to start, because once you know what a gem is, you're going to see them everywhere. They're going to be everywhere. They always were everywhere. You just didn't recognize them. I trust that you have enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Break. I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beyond the Break 2020, and share that link there. Share that that link to the channel there with your circle, because people need it, especially at a time like this. We all experience brokenness in some point in time in our lives. What do you do about it? Do you just try to get through it, or do you just want it to be over? I'm glad that's gone. No, if you know you're great in which you are, then that brokenness has released something in you that you didn't know you had. You have become someone different, someone greater, and you may not have even noticed or paid attention. So share the YouTube link with your circle of friends. Join us, on the Beyond the Break 2020 YouTube channel by subscribing so you get notifications every time we drop a video. We also have a private Facebook group, Beyond the Break, Giving Yourself a Fighting Chance. So connect with us on our Facebook group. That way we can communicate. You can even post your comments under this video. We want to hear from you. We want to know what gems that you gather from these episodes along the way. What comments do you have? What did you learn? What would you like to see more of? What topics would you like to hear us discuss and break open and shine the light for you? So visit our website, www.theattractivethinker.guru, and get that series, Strengthen What Remains, so you begin to pull the gems along your journey, pull the gems from your journey that you left. Dr. Toni Hatton here, and my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw. Please tell our audience how they can discover more about the Visual Encouragement Movement.
You can go to my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for people dealing with depression who desires to lift the heaviness so that they can create a new vision for themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information. Let me know how I can uplift you and inspire you and encourage you to live a life of fulfillment. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com.
Our life's work is always to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're doing. Think and practice.